Hello and welcome to another session of Impulse Drive, which is a PBTA, Powered by the Apocalypse game of science fiction. It's probably my favorite of the sci-fi PBTA games, though there's some other interesting ones out there. This one has enough room and enough space that we've been able to kind of loosely adapt it to the Coriolis setting, which comes from Free League Publishing, which is a sci-fi setting, which clearly takes some cultural elements, inspiration from Islamic slash Arab slash Middle Eastern cultures in a very distant way. But it's a lovely setting. We've been playing in it and kind of exploring the corners of it, and that's what we're continuing on with tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about where we are in a second, but just so you know, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is a community for online gaming, and we have a calendar that is keyed to that focus. Essentially, people can sign up. We have a Patreon that supports that, so people who back it can get access a little earlier than other people to the calendar. Lots of really cool indie games and OSR things going on there. There's more about that you can find out at gauntlet-rpg.com. That is my sales pitch for today. We're getting close to the end of the year, so we're getting close to the last time I'm going to say these things for this year. Last time, our group traveled to one of the Nomad Federation ships. It is in a star system that has a unique gas giant, and that gas giant has a great old relic with it. And this relic is called the Sun Fan. And when it turns a certain position to catch the solar rays, when it opens up, elements in the atmosphere crystallize, and these are hugely valuable. And there are people that, in a very risky maneuver, will essentially space bungee jump down to gather these materials, since they're non-reactive, non-magnetic, and ships would just be buffeted through this. So people actually go and do this. It is a rite of passage for certain members of the Nomad Federation. The federation that we're currently with is called the Kyber Swarm, and it is a ship, big ship, and then there are lots of other smaller vessels here, skiffs that go between things. There was some foreshadowing last time, as it was mentioned, that a good deal of the sort of the actual armed fleet had been sent off to deal with some kind of situation. So while there still were some armed protection flotilla kind of around here, it was significantly less than it might otherwise be. Our group entered in. They've tried to kind of conceal their needs. They had delivered a group of kids back to the swarm, and as such were invited in as honored guests, which is sort of unusual. They made their way onto the ship. We got all kinds of things about how the ship was laid out, the interiors of it, things like that. They met some NPCs, talked with people. They tried to find their way around to asking about the person they're looking for, whose name is Argamina. Argamina is apparently some kind of oracle, which is supposed to be on the hush-hush. No one has seen her yet, but certainly the group reacted. The Kyber Swarm leadership reacted when she was mentioned, and did say that the Foundation, a scientific group that a couple of people have bad relations with, had already been here before in the past few years, trying to get at Argamina. The group had a nice meal and then settled in after they had done some preparations to make this jump down to the planet side to the group, deciding that they were going to undertake that challenge, and looking at the rituals for that. And where we left off was with Mumaton being awoken by her sort of combat reflexes and hearing the distant sound of what was clearly gunfire. So that's the sum up of the position we're in. Are there any major details that I left out of that summary? Okay. If you did, feel free to speak up later. We need to look and see, did anyone get an advance? Kyrie, did you get an advance?
I did.
Okay. Do you know what you want to take?
I have a question about that.
Please.
I was looking at the Mystic playbook in the straight up Impulse Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a move there, Embrace Eternity. I was wondering what you thought of it. It sort of feels like, here, I put it up in chat, a bit of where I've been moving with Kyrie, but it's sort of a mind meld, like back and forth questions with someone about deeper beliefs and desires rather than immediate plans.
Sure. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I think I probably cut that one just due to space. And of course the roll is with plus weird rather than alien. That seems reasonable to me.
Cool. Cool. Thank you.
Kala, you haven't quite hit that yet. Are you good with your hooks, Kala?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to check in on that. And Kyrie, you've got enough hooks to last you a lifetime. So I assume you're
so many hooks, all the hooks.
Okay. Nikos, it looks like you're just a little bit short on the advances yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got one last session though, so it's
So
racking up the XP.
Okay. So we got that. It looks good. You've got a couple of stresses. We've got some people with some stress on the table here. Rich, last time was the first time you had a chance to play Mumaton. It was a very talky session, but I want to check in with you. Are you happy with your hooks, and are you happy with your choices for playbook moves and or stats?
I'm good with moves and stats. There's one hook that I may swap out, just the wars numb me to suffering. I have difficulty playing a numb character.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, feel free to look, and if something comes up in play or you glance through the other list and you want to put something and say, oh, I think this is hitting on something that means something to my character, feel free to do that.
Cool.
Okay, and let me check on that. Looks like we are good. Does anyone have a start of session move that I haven't noticed? Okay. So hearing that, we take up Mumaton. You hear that sound, and as much as anything, it is because you have served in combat that you are up and awake and aware, because this is obviously happening in a further out part of the ship. What do you do?
Mumaton's reflexes kick in, and she moves up. Now, was she in a solitary room? If I remember, I couldn't remember if her.
I assumed that each of you were given relatively solitary rooms, though for you two, it might be that you're in a room and essentially there's a hanging carpet or sheet to block out the space between the two of you.
Because her first thought would be, where is Kala?
Kala is in the adjoining area.
Okay, so she's going to quickly move to check on Kala and probably rouse her.
How does Mumaton rouse someone?
So for Kala, it's probably like grab the shoulder and the arm and kind of wiggle her a little bit, and if she's in a bed or a hammock or whatever. For other people, it's a lot more brutal.
Kala, are you a light sleeper, heavy sleeper? What's your reaction when that occurs? I will now take a drink.
I think she's usually a light sleeper, and maybe a little bit more so because she's not on her ship, so it's different engines that are thrumming and different So she's probably like hasn't been sleeping all that well. So I would say she's probably an extremely light sleeper right now.
Yeah, probably the second that Mumaton kind of lays hands on you, you're awake, and you see Mumaton, and you can clearly tell that something is up.
Right. I think that she doesn't even say all that much. She scrabbles to get her scanner and essentially make sure she has, everything that she can use, but she's like right behind you, if
Okay.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. So just as a quick review, there was a conversation about what Mumaton was allowed to bring on board. I believe the sword was okay. The pistol was okay. The carbine
only
was
thing
not okay.
No, they gave you back the carbine
Okay.
after you
okay.
presented your licensing. The only thing that you do not have are your grenades
Okay.
and your grape rifle.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I just want to make sure. See, as Kala's. Sorry, Google decided that I was saying something to it. Okay. I hand over the RX Omer pistol as Kala is grabbing her scanner and like, gunfire on board. You need to stay safe. And then if you like try to follow her out, she'll look back like, okay, well, it does keep her safe, but weird.
And I think that's the point of time at which the ship shakes, and you definitely hear a wolf of an explosion. The pressure changes in here where you're at, and the lighting goes out and then comes back red, and you're starting to hear alarms going off. Nikos, I think you probably with your trained reflexes on the ship, you're the next one to kind of instantly wake, and then Kyrie. Nikos, what do you do?
I am out the door and heading to the bridge before I remember that I am not on my ship.
Okay, you're up and out the door. You'll see Mumaton and Kala there, and yeah, you're listening. The klaxons are pretty. The sounds you can tell are pretty severe. Like this is not a rouse to stations. This is an evac alarm going on. So, Kyrie, what's your reaction to this sudden change?
I think it's wild freakouts and falling off the bed and getting tangled in this unfamiliar sheet and just all sorts of freaking out before he comes like falling out of his room.
And you can come tumbling out. The four of you together. The hallway is dimly lit. You're hearing these alarms. You're probably feeling some more vibrations definitely on the ship. That there are a whole mess of both escape pods and skiffs and things like that are attached to the ship that you guess people are moving towards right now.
And I think just given the general alarm and, the producers of the show understanding that this actor does a lot of crunches for a reason, Kyrie's obviously like shirtless and sort of half dressed and like lots of long shots on his tattoos and things like that.
Absolutely. With the crimson light, the little glisten there on that.
Yeah, it's nice.
So let's hear what the four of you say in this sort of emergency situation. They're gathered together.
Okay, Kala's one of her specialties is the engineering in the ships, and she's had the walk around the thing. So I think she is going to go, check her scanner, but go. This is where the escape pods are. This is where we need to be moving towards. Just the sort of general thing of what we need to do to evac, and then. I would like to scope it out to figure out where the explosions must have been happening.
Sure. Let's go ahead and have you roll with calculating there.
Okay. So that gives me a 12.
Gives you a 12. So when investigation pays off, you get to ask 3 questions.
All right, where are the, such a scatter scanner. So where have the explosions occurred?
So that's the thing that you will get when you pull it up is this is clearly a planned thing because you've got a set of micro explosions that have occurred in different segments of the ship. Like you're getting that energy pulse and the basic read on the system.
Okay, and that's why I said this thing is staged. Someone's trying to force an evac. Is the evac necessary? Is the micro explosion actually requiring it, or is they just trying to empty the ship so they can do something and not get interrupted?
So I will, there'll be a second question. And if this goes much further, if this continues, then yes, an evac will be necessary. Especially if there are other things that have been put into play here. You're a little nervous about, you're certainly getting fires. There may be decompressions. That this could very easily get much worse.
Great. Where are the next set going to go?
It looks to you like the last explosion hit the comms systems, and you would guess from there, just given adjacency, that there's probably an explosive set on the fire suppression mainframe.
Okay.
Essentially, it's almost like the life support environmental control kind of thing.
Okay. And I think that's what I'm going to say is she's going, okay, they're going to try to take out fire suppression and life control. So I'm going to see if I can head down there and stop them. And I think she's just going to go in there because this ship is not her ship, but it's a ship and you can't let this happen.
Okay. And I think I am going to try to figure out if this is a raid on the ship, what is the target of the raid?
Let's have you scope it out.
I think that's probably more share expertise.
Oh, okay. That seems reasonable.
And I'm following after Kala going, Kala, the escape pods, they're back. That's not the way they're back this way.
Yeah, so I got an 11.
Got an 11. So yes, this seems like a combination of probably a couple of inside agents, but you're guessing just by the setup in this and what's going on. They've probably got at least some kind of ship or skiff attached, and the raid is definitely aiming for that section of the ship that Kala spotted that you didn't have a chance to go down into, that sort of the restricted area of the ship.
Right. So, Myrmiton, you're with me there. I think they're going after Argamina.
Okay. Let's go.
So we will see the shots of Nikos and Mumaton heading one way, and Kyrie and Kala heading a different direction.
This is going to go great.
Mumaton, you see that like you're about to get split from Kala.
Yeah. God, this may be the last time I see her. This is the first thing that goes through her head. I think she's going to do it. She's following orders, but I think this is going to give her some stress.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you mark a stress there? So we see the two groups heading in different directions. You will move through these areas again. Easy to get through certain sections of this because of the cloth and things like that, and the way they've got things framed. But there are sections that are bulkhead sections that you will get to. People, they clearly are drilled here in how to evac. So people are kind of moving out of your way. You suspect that some people have probably been dispatched to go to your rooms to gather you, but you're already gone by the time that happens. So let's put some obstacles in the way and see how you overcome them. Kyrie, Kala, you will hit a section where you need to go down. Well, actually, you need to go down a set of levels there. But when you hit that sort of the transport tube, that is clearly locked or jammed up right now. So how would you get around that?
I think that we would look for the essentially the standard ship's maintenance tubes that are there for taking care of the tube and all of those things, and just go down those.
Okay, so you will look. These are not particularly large tubes.
No.
That kind of run along the outside skin of the ship in some ways.
Exactly. You wouldn't want to waste space or
Exactly.
quality environmental
Yeah.
qualities. Yeah.
Are we sure this is
This is
the
absolutely
only?
how we need to do this. Yes.
But couldn't you just get the elevator? I mean, it's right here.
Okay. You have to do this as fast as possible. There's not a lot of air in there. Okay. Come on. Let's do this.
What?
So Sherry,
Yes.
may I have you either act quick or keep your cool? I'll take either one of those on this.
You know, I still have a hold one from the deckhand. Is that the act? Keep my cool.
The deckhand is, I could pull down to that, is keep your cool.
Okay. Now, keep your cool is like a losing move, though, isn't it?
Mm.
It's like no matter what. It's...
No, a 10 plus, you do it with minimal cost.
Okay, well, but there's always a cost. Well, yeah, sure, let's do keep cool. I got the +1.
Yeah.
And then it's based otherwise on what?
Stalwart.
Oh, well, I got like a 2 in that, don't I?
Are you a
Let's see.
stalwart?
I don't know. I'm pretty stalwart. That's like,
You are pretty stalwart. That's 2.
yeah, 2. Okay.
So this is your
roll
jam.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Tube
And it's a
diving.
good thing because that gives me a 7 that I wouldn't otherwise have. So
you will jump down into this, and it's you guess that they probably have magna clamps for climbing down these. Usually you don't have those on hand, so it's more of a fun slide through some very hot areas, some very cold areas, and a couple of areas that you can tell the oxygen is getting sucked out of that.
okay.
So you're going to mark a stress.
All right.
And you see Kala go down, and there might be like at least one shout of pain as she goes down in there. Kyrie, do you want to act quick or keep your cool?
What would sort of be the difference there?
So keep your cool is that you're going in, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold myself together. And act quick is, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, that's number 2. It's definitely number 2.
All right. Go ahead and roll with Slick then.
Kala, wait, Kala! Let's see. Not very slick. Thought I opened you already. I definitely clicked on you. There you are. Okay. 8 plus 1 is 9.
Okay. You do it, but you need to choose one. Disadvantage going forward. You leave something behind, and I get to pick. Just saying that. Or you mark a stress.
As fun as it is to let you pick stuff, I do think it sounds like a situation where Kyrie is off balance and rushed. So
Okay.
Disadvantage going forward.
So you have disadvantage going forward. So we get that shot of you sliding downward into this. You two are moving. You found some manual stair access. You're kind of heading a different direction, making your way down, and you will have to kind of break off. Like you can see that the stairs are broken, and there's actually some fire, like an explosion happened here, and you're about to kind of break off to go and cut over and then go down, when you will see that there are some people clinging to the stairs there. You can see they've got about a 40-50 foot drop. They're trying to cling on. There's some flames burning around them, and they're desperately trying to hang on. You can proceed onwards.
No.
I
gonna.
think I am going to try to very quickly set up an escape route for them with my hyper rope, and then move onwards.
Okay, let's have you act quick. Rich, do you want to assist?
I do.
Okay, then why don't you roll your lean on me, and that'll give him advantage.
I remember lean on me is like one of my best stats, so I'm pretty good at
Stalwart.
helping. Yeah. Sweet. Got a 10 on my lean on me.
Yeah, so you give them advantage. They can clear a stress, and you aren't exposed to any danger that they suffer. So, Captain, Mumadun helps you get this hyper rope set. Let's have you roll that act quick with advantage.
Okay, well that advantage changed my roll from a 4 to an 8. So.
Okay. So you get to choose your off balance or rushed, take disadvantage forward. You leave something behind, or you're pushed to your limits and suffer stress.
Right. Well, I'm definitely leaving the hyper rope behind, but I assumed that would be something in addition. So I'll take a stress.
Okay. To game the system, you can clear that stress because of what Momentum does.
All right.
So that is a little goob there, as they say in my part of the country. And you will get that set. They grab on it again. The hyper rope is this sort of intelligent, a sticky thing. You kind of set it. Because you usually use gloves to hold on to it, but you get it set so that it's easier for them to climb up, and they will desperately make their way up. And the two of you will break into this level. Another shake on the ship, and you will continue on downwards. So let's cut to Kyrie and Kala. You've had to get past a couple of sections that have clearly, suffered some damage there. The comm systems, main comm systems are out. But the other thing that you're going to notice is when you kind of reach out with your own sort of personal comms that you guys have to Momatun and Nikos, is there's a scrambler on, and they're scrambling a person-to-person communications through communicators here.
Okay, that's where we'll be going as soon as we get this other explosion stopped, if possible.
So you will hit down to the sort of central portion of what they have redundancies for the life support system, but you hit that section that includes the fire suppression stuff. And you will see a couple of bodies there, crew members, including one of those inspectors, as you go into that room that are laid out.
Kala?
Yes.
Did you mumble something about other explosions? What do you mean other explosions?
Hey, this is just the next in the series. Come on, we got to stop this.
Series? I thought we were here to help with evacuation, or what?
No. We have to stop the explosions.
Please, we're running towards explosives.
She holds up her scanner. Yep, definitely running towards explosions.
You realize there's like a literal infinitude of space out there that's not filled with explosions.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
filled
like,
with death and
theoretically
no air.
speaking, second by second, there's more space that's not filled with explosions.
I don't get your points.
Kyrie, you will see her take her scanner and probably ignore the bodies, pull open a panel and shove her head into the mechanicals here. What are you doing while that's going on?
Well, I'm trying desperately not to worry about explosions because Kala's got that taken care of. A lot of question marks. But, you know, it wasn't a random explosion or evacuation or like camera shaking that killed these people. So what killed these people?
It is small arms fire. You can see the one of them back to the head, and the other two, the other guy, 2 shots center mass at the heart.
Is there anything like blown locks or open doors that might show where people went?
Why don't you scope it out?
Can't I ask the darkness questions? It's so much easier.
Do you want to call on the Jin to assist you in the middle of this?
Not yet. It's not
Okay.
dire enough.
Fair enough.
We'll get there. Oh, and this is disadvantage because I'm
Yes, I
rattled
know.
by falling down several. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. Well, that's 7 plus nothing.
Okay.
But it's
So
not
you
the
get to-
11 I would have had.
You get to ask a question.
I suppose what is about to happen in the sense of like, where did they go? What are they doing?
So you had some experience dealing with bad dudes, as it were, and so you can tell this is a pair of trained operatives who are probably moving from here to their next target, essentially, planning their explosives and then probably rendezvousing up with their team, essentially. And you can kind of get the path based on what you know about where the fire and explosions are, which way they would have to go out from here. And that is actually down to the controls for some of the point defense systems that take care of like meteorites and small ships and things like that. That's where they're headed.
Gotcha.
All right. So yes, you will slide into the underside of this, and you can see there is a bomb there.
Excellent. So
It's ticking down.
excellent. And essentially I'm going, okay, I'm going to need you to essentially, you should see, and she's going to tell him about how she can use the fire suppressant system to essentially chill this bomb until it's like a timer loses its contacts, and then she can remove it. So she's going to do her technobabble thing that she needs him just to detach that set of hoses over there and hand it over to her.
And I believe when you do technobabble, you get advantage.
Yes, going forward on my attempt to defuse this.
Okay.
So
Th-
this
then
is a
let's-
jury rig, I assume. So
Let me look at your move here, how it is described. Your jury rig is making things. Let me look here.
okay.
You happily used to hastily construct or repair a device.
That's repairing a bomb is making it.
Repairing a bomb.
Um,
This electronic device has a terrible fault built into it. Let me fix
Exactly,
that.
it's going to go off. That's what.
so I'll tell you. So there are two ways that we can handle it. Look at what the jury rig choices are. We can do it with that, or you can roll. Keep your cool with advantage.
Oh, I'll try to keep my cool. That's good too. That makes sense. because it is a diffuse. So
Yep.
yeah, let's do it.
Jury rig is actually one of those ones that there's always a cost to pay.
Yes. All right. So I'm rolling with advantage. So that gives me 10.
Gives you a 10. So Kyrie, she's shouting at you from underneath this thing to hit these particular buttons.
I don't know what a quantum computing tube looks like.
It's blue.
They're all blue.
It's bluer.
It's the mostest blue. You'll kind of hit that, and eventually you'll see like this mist pouring out from where Kala is at. You guess that she's probably holding her breath while this is going on, and then Kala, you will get that snapped off of there and diffused, and you can pull that explosive off of that.
All right.
And this is not. This is a serious piece of military equipment.
All right. And I'll show it to Kyrie and I'll say, this is a serious piece of equipment. Whoever's doing this has money and resources. So we're going to have to kill him.
Okay, alternate plan. We could focus on living and not dying in the vacuum of space on this exploded station.
Yeah, that's essentially the most straightforward way to make sure that happens. Come on.
Oh God. Okay, look, there may or may not be some people heading towards the small fire guns. I don't know what they're doing there, but they're, probably the ones that planted the bomb and definitely killed these people, and I don't know what they want there.
Okay,
we
I'll
probably
follow
shouldn't
you.
go there.
Let's go there.
What? No, that's the opposite of what I said.
You know where they are. You'll be the hero. Come on.
I don't think you understand. You realize there's a very large bomb, and now there's
Do
not a bomb.
you know where they are? Don't you?
I know where they are. I'm just saying.
Go.
When you get there, okay.
We'll see the two of you heading off. Nikos, are you leading? Is Mumaton leading? I'm curious about how the two of you interact during this kind of pell-mell run through these corridors.
I think I'm mostly leading, but every once in a while, Mumaton draws my attention to something, and we adjust. It's like I think we've worked as a team before in a combat situation.
So there is that moment when Nikos is about to there's a T-junction, and he's about to breach that corridor to turn and head down, and you grab to the back of him and stop him before he can go forward. And just something in the back of your mind, you just kind of
no, that's bad.
Instinct.
No, that's bad. The other way. Find another way.
It's gonna be a long way round to avoid this section. This is the most direct route down to where you're going.
I think I'll try scoping it out.
Okay. Let's have you roll with calculating.
That was a 6.
So there is that moment when you kind of go, okay, let me just take a look. And you kind of look around and you will see these three guys who are set in the corridor, and one of them fires the carbine when you poke your head out. And do you have armor?
I have armor, but I don't think I took the time to put it on when I jumped out of bed, so
Okay.
no.
So this is going to wing you for 2 harm. Yes.
Hold on. I would like, if I remember, there's a step in the way, take a hit. I'm sorry, just double checking.
No, please see if you can.
I thought there was a get in the way of somebody getting their ass shot off. Maybe I'm thinking of another game. I just want to see if there's a thing. No action moves, act quick. Sure, can I act quick to
You've got
get in the way of this?
You've got this stoic wall move.
Oh shoot, do I? I was looking at basic and wasn't even looking at my own playbook. Moves. So I've got Stoic Wall. I'd like to stand defiant to defend another from violence. Discharge
Okay.
this move and roll will start with. Thank you for looking on my own character sheet, Stephen. I'm glad that it benefits you because it's a thing I wanted to do.
Roll with Stalwart.
Huh. It looks like I didn't copy over the options. Okay, I'll grab it.
They're
from
down there. It's just a big thing. Scroll down.
Okay, cool. I rolled a 6 + 2 for Stalwart, makes it an 8.
So you get to hold 2. When you stay in defense, you can spend hold 1 for 1 for that. What do you want to do?
Are you sure I have those options? Like,
Yeah, it's right above your photo.
right above the.
It's just stretched out. That cell is stretched out is what
Yeah.
it is.
Weird. Okay, yeah. Now it's there. I had to like go up. It's okay. Whatever. I've got it.
God, Google.
No, it's rich in Google. Rich, screwed it up. Okay. Redirect an attack from that which you defend to yourself. Reduce the attacker's one attack by 1 harm. There we go. That's it.
Okay. So those are the 2 you're doing?
If that is the 2 that I have.
Okay.
chosen.
So you will pull him back and you will take that hit, and there's 1 harm left, and I assume you have armor.
I do.
Okay. So it'll bounce off, and you will see 3 masked rebreather, like tight vac suit troopers. They're in black, and one of them set up with a carbine. The other is another one is sort of clearly in comms communication. Another one is fanning the gun on another corridor. They've clearly set this up as a kill position to keep people from moving through here.
Oh, if only I had a grenade. No, I think the way that if Mumaton, the way she protected Nikos, she grabs Nikos and he looks around to scope it out, and she pulls him back as the fire is coming and just kind of hugs, kind of forms her shoulders around him and hugs him, and then boom, 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 a couple on her back, but she has the armor, so she's able to blow it off and yeah,
absolutely. You take that zero harm hit and kind of pushes you forward. So what do you do?
I think I'm gonna shove Nikos away, turn, and fire back at them because that sounds really fun and I'm good at it.
Absolutely. So you will set which weapon are you pulling out? You pulling out pistol? Or going carbine?
I'm going carbine.
Yeah,
they've got carbine against carbine. Obviously, they are aware that this section is not near the exterior, so we're not going to get vented to space. They would have checked that. They're troopers. They're pros. I trust in that.
They're also wearing vac suits.
I've already pulled out the carbine.
I'm just telling you.
I had my mental image. She made her decision. It was a snap decision. It may have been a bad decision.
Let's have you roll with volatile.
Okay, my volatile's a 1. That is a fail.
That is a fail. So I think that
I got an advance.
There you go. The good news is you get an advance. The bad news is as you come out, you will see that the guy has swapped out, dropped the carbine and pulled a bigger weapon. One of his partners has turned to fire, and you're going to take 2 harm, which armor can negate. I assume you've got pretty tough armor, or at least 1.
I have armor 1.
Okay, so you'll take 1 harm, and the guy fires, and you realize that this is a hole puncher, like made to pop holes in holes, and he fires it, and you will hear the shot go past you, and you will hear a poof, and you can see this section on the outer hull, just that little hole. This is a nasty, risky maneuver. You can see that they are they've got magnetized suits, so they are going to stay where they're at. But that suddenly all that oxygen starts that way. Nikos, what do you do?
I am going to try to patch the hole. I think I'm going. Is there anything around that I can use to patch the hole there?
Do you have a tactical pack?
I do not.
Tactical pack is the easiest thing that would be able to hold up and sustain to that. But let's have you I would say that you can try and repair it with disadvantage right now, given that the materials aren't great.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. What is that? Act quick.
I think that's definitely be act quick. You see Nikos jumps in the corridor, lets the oxygen, the wind pull him down there, drops down, grabs some of his stuff. Let's have you roll act quick.
And it's with disadvantage, so instead of a 13, I only get an 11.
So Nikos rolls down there and it looks good. He almost probably run like he's parkouring with the wind carrying him, lands there and hits that patch. He's got some stuff in his pack, jams it in there. It's not going to hold forever, but it's going to hold right now. Mumaton, that looks pretty sweet. And there's still these dudes.
Yeah, very impressive. Like maybe there's a moment where, oh, Nikos is so good at this. I think Mumaton's gonna try to cover his action by returning fire on these guys.
Okay.
She's holding her breath. Just this reminds her of a time. She's been through this before.
Oh
It's
yeah,
fine.
absolutely. Are you doing Juggernaut or are you just doing Firefight?
Oh, let's Juggernaut. Thank you guys are so good at helping me play my own character. Seriously, like I appreciate it because sometimes I get a little caught up in basic moves. Thank you. Yes, so with Juggernaut, when you move forward unflinching towards a goal through an immediate danger hazard others cower from, discharge this move, which I'll do so now, and roll with Stalwart. So my Stalwart is actually better than my Volatile. That gives me a good thing. This one die rolled a 1, so I'm not going to be rolling that. I'm going to move these two over here. I'm not angry at them yet. And they have made me proud. That is an 11 on a 10 plus with Juggernaut. I'm unstoppable and choose 2. You uncover a clear path for your ally. Do I need to do that? I think Ezekiel's through.
That would just give them advantage.
Okay, then I'll do that. I'll give Nikos an advantage.
Okay.
And I want to get to these guys. So
okay.
even if I take harm, I reach my goal.
I think you come. Tell me what that looks like. They see Nikos go down. They're kind of, the guy is doing the thing to load another depleted uranium shell in this big long gun.
I want that gun. Okay, anyway.
And tell me what that looks like as you run towards them. What do they see? What's going on?
Now, it's just so I have the environment right. It's venting, right? So there's extreme amount of pressure and wind is rushing past. Yeah. So I think what you see is Mumaton. She knows how to move up a corridor, zigzag. So she's just she's shouldered her carbine, runs forward, grabs the edge of a corridor, uses that to leap off, grabs for the other, and she's just moving across and hoping that the zigzag and the speed of the movement, ducking low and occasionally making herself a tough target. But she's just more interested in getting there than being beautiful about it. She's going to reach her target.
And then you're up in the middle of these three in melee range. They've all got long arms. So suddenly you're up in the middle of them, and they're going to be at a disadvantage. You are going to take 2 harm from one of the shots that will hit you as you go through there. And we're going to cut away from that moment as you'll feel that wind stop from Nikos, and suddenly you're in the middle. We will cut to Kyrie, you're leading.
I mean, it's sort of against my better judgment and their constant check-ins. Like, really, this is okay.
And are you doing anything I should know about?
I suppose as we get close, I want to look for somewhere with like a view screen, some sort of computer access.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's not a problem. Do you want to use that to scope it out?
Actually, I would like to try a better statistical chance than that. I'd like to use my virtual interface to try and mind spike the computer here.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, because that allows you to potentially read it. Okay, discharge that move. And roll with volatile.
Volatile, which is something I'm okay at.
Oh, yeah.
That's 6.
So the good news is that you get to mark XP.
Oh, good.
The bad news is this is the first time that you've hit a viral payload in,
Oh, no.
in a data gen. And essentially, suddenly your virtual interface is all ads, just ads, and they keep stacking up in your virtual interface, and they're just compiling, and it is they are replicating blipverts and ads and memes and all of that kind of thing, just filling up that interface.
Yeah, so it's very like he's been prodded on for a while, but he's like, okay, we're getting close. He does the deep breath. So, okay, ignore the sirens. Reaches out, calmly puts his hands on the computer screen, and like 30 seconds later begins like falling back and swatting at things you can't see, and sort of spinning in circles, going, no, cancel,
Yeah.
deny, decline.
Kind of hits against the wall, and you're actually closer to the location than you maybe thought you were, because you'll see this door come open, Kala, and you'll see this figure, gun down, just pistol, gun down, kind of step to kind of look out and cover the thing, and he sees Kyrie sliding down the wall, and he's raised his gun up, and he is going to shoot one of you.
Well,
huh.
Well, I have to protect Kyrie, so I will make myself the most useful target by raising my gun and trying to shoot him first, since he's trying to make a decision.
Let's have you roll volatile.
Okay. $13.
13. So you're going to exchange harm.
Okay.
And you get to choose 3 from that list.
Which list? Firefight?
Firefight.
Okay. Let's see here. So
I'll tell you the situation that can see. He's got his pistol up. You can tell that there's another person in this room behind them, probably working on getting the next bomb set up.
Okay. And then if you discharge your weapon, you can't use it, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so I can't do that. So I'm going to be able to advance, and so I want to force him out of cover.
Okay, that's 1.
I do harm.
That's free. Here. That's okay. Free.
Let's see here. And I guess I want. And I'll take the -1 harm because I want to shoot him again then when I get the chance.
So you move up, reduce the harm, so you're only going to take 1 harm. You get a 3rd pick.
Oh, okay.
3.
Then I move up and I'll dismay them.
Okay, so yeah, you come rushing up. This guy shoots you, and you come rushing up. He falls back because he doesn't know what's going on. You don't look like the nomads, you and Kyrie, so he's not sure what's going on. He does fall back into the room, and I think the dismay effect will be to make the essentially the bomb placer guy have to stop, like to assess the situation.
Okay.
Kyrie, that sound of the gunfire is going to bring you out of this as you kind of turn the VR to zero. What do you do?
Shit, happening. Where'd they go?
You can see that she's up in this room. She's kind of moved up to the thing. There's clearly people in there that she's having a firefight with. Kala. Firefight.
Yeah, I think I want to sort of like dive towards Kala and get her to the ground while I just do a general like telekinetic push through the doorway just at whatever's on the other side.
Okay. So when you simply reach out and throw your telekinetic power at someone, let's have you discharge that move and roll volatile. The recover move, by the way, is the way that you recover discharging on things. So just know that move exists on there. So discharging a thing isn't a permanent loss.
Okay.
There. You tabs. And I think since I'm lashing out or acting destructively, I'm gonna spend 2 off of Touch the Void for an advantage on the roll, and you can choose someone who's frightened or cowed.
Is it anyone?
Yes.
So what is it that Kala sees that is going to shake her when you do this?
I think she sees something I haven't actually seen, which is she sees like a vision of the djinn's face like superimposed over mine, and like eyes glowing with hate as I reach out to throw.
And you get to you just send them flying backwards. They will slam into the walls and the panels there and kind of crash down. They're not out, but you've pulled them away from what they're doing. They're out of cover. We're going to come back to you, and you guys are being in an advantageous position. Nikos, I'm going to start with you, and I think at this point, since you're kind of in a violent situation, we can, if you want to use your quick draw move, you can do that.
Okay. I actually think it doesn't apply because we weren't in a tense situation that broke down.
Fair enough.
Tense from the beginning, but yeah, I think I'm going to exchange fire, I guess.
Okay, let's have you roll firefight.
That's an 8.
Okay, exchange harm and choose one.
Yeah, I guess I'll play it KG and suffer -1 harm.
So you will take 1 harm. And how much harm do you deal?
I've just got my Vulcan pistol, so that's
Okay.
that's 1 harm.
So the guy who's still kind of on the belly down, you will shoot, and he fires off. He just wings you, but you certainly got his attention. He's not going to be able to at all deal with your compatriot. Rich, could I please have you roll Alpha Strike?
Yeah, I would like to roll Alpha Strike. But before I do, let me check it.
Yes.
Oh, it's calculating. I'm not very calculating. That's fine. I'm doing it.
Okay.
I have a -1 on calculating. Oh, crap. Here we go. Alpha Strike. It's not problematic. I got a 7. Yay.
Take what you can get. Pick one.
Let's see. I want to disarm them. Yeah.
Tell me what that looks like as you get these rifles away from you, kind of in a tight, there's a T junction, and they're at that junction. They're up there with you. They've also still got their magnetic boots and things on to keep them from the wind, so they're a little bit adhered to the ground where they're at. Tell me what that looks like.
Oh, it's now, even though the wind is around her, she's got enough. They're stationary enough to where she can move around them. So it's like grabs a barrel of one, turns it to slam against another guy, grabs his carbine and forces him to fire into the wall, and then yanks it away when he kind of reflexively lets go of it. And that's it's like a whirling dervish of
Absolutely.
Close combat maneuvers.
Yeah, and to kind of slam them back, they're having to turn the magnetics off to get at their knives, but you've still kind of got the momentum here. Nikos, how do you take advantage of that moment when Mumaton just absolutely whirlwinds through these three?
I'm going to get to the ship's access panel, and I am going to what am I going to do that will throw them off? I'm going to set up these flashing lights that I know Mumaton's armor has filters that will protect him, but I'm going to set up a pattern that just disorients them.
So does that seem sort of like a lean on me, like you're assisting Mumaton?
Sure.
Okay, then I'll let you roll with Stalwart, and let's see what happens to support.
11.
11. So you get all three. Mumaton, advantage, clear a stress, and you aren't exposed to the fire. Mumaton, let's have you roll firefight, I think.
Sorry, I just want to point out a thing. I screwed up a thing. I was rattled, which means I was supposed to roll disadvantage on a calculating roll. I apologize.
Don't worry about that. We'll catch it on your next calculator.
I'll keep it in mind for a few. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get to relieve a stress. I only had one stress.
Take advantage.
Okay. And I am taking advantage, but the I'm rattled only affects slicker calculating, so it doesn't negate. Good. Okay. Sorry. I'd forgotten that there was a roll disadvantage when you take harm. Not used to that. I think with the advantage, she's just going to try to clear this space. We got to get past them. And they're drawing out knives. They're remaining a threat. So I will spend my advance that I had and raise my volatile from a 1 to a 2.
Ooh.
And then we will get into a firefight.
Okay.
So here we go. I'm rolling with advantage. So it means I have to use this one that I put to the side because it was in timeout.
Maybe
we'll see if it's decided to be good to me.
Dice change.
It rolled a 4. It was the best of the 3, unfortunately. So that is a 6 plus my volatile 2, making it an 8.
Okay.
Didn't necessarily benefit me to have that extra 1, but I'll take it anyway. 7 to 9. I want to discharge my weapon with the discharge tag and deal double its harm to someone.
I think if you do that, you're going to suffer harm. You're still going to
that's fine.
Take 1 through your armor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you will drop 2 of these guys if you discharge your carbine.
I will discharge my carbine, and I get 2 choices. No, I'll get 1. I get 1 choice of 7 to 9. So that's the one. I'll just discharge my carbine.
So you'll lay it across them, and they're kind of stuck in position, so they can't do anything. And you'll drop 2 of them. The third guy rolls up and gets his knife into your leg there, and is kind of trying to he's turned off the magnetics and is trying to roll back. He's kind of pinned between the 2 of you. Nikos, what do you do?
There's one guy left.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably pretty distracted at this point, so I'm going to charge up and just shoot him close range with my pistol.
Okay. Do you want to roll that with calculating? Do the alpha strike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 12.
So yeah, you are up on them, and this guy is getting to his feet, blade out. You've just got the long arms you've kind of pulled out, and your gun is clicking, Mumaton, and then Nikos shoots him and drops the third guy. And claxons are still going on, but these three are dropped. You will both, probably Mumaton, but maybe Nikos as well. You will see that there are some under the stuff when you kind of cut away a little bit of the things. They are mercenaries that you'll recognize from a group called the Dance the Hag, and they're kind of nasty. Like they take dirty jobs. We will cut away from you to a slightly startled Kala. Woof! Those two crash down here. They are in a disadvantageous position. What do you do?
I'm going to essentially, she sees the djinn and she's like, no, Kyrie. And she has to kill these guys because under no circumstances can he do that with the djinn in his control, with control over him. I just can't let that happen. I can't let him go that direction. And she literally will step in front of him and try to kill these guys so that they're not a threat anymore.
Roll alpha strike.
What is that?
Calculating.
Okay. So that's a 10.
That is a 10. So Kyrie, you've knocked them down. You feel that djinn. Kala looks at you and turns and puts a bullet in each of them. Discharge your weapon.
Okay. I will. Well, it's not my weapon. It's his weapon.
Yes.
We'll do the discharge. But I'll put it in my favorite color.
Kyrie, you see that.
Careful, those are the highly trained operatives that we're chasing. They're very dangerous.
She pats you on the chest. And she goes, why didn't you tell me?
What? Tell you what?
And she sort of stops. She looks at the bomb that they were planning. Is it still there, Lowell? Is it
No,
like
you guys,
ticking down? We got
you
it
guys,
before it got
interrupted
planted?
it. Yeah. It would,
Okay, and then she's like, why didn't you tell me about the djinn?
It's not a problem. It's just there's their voices. They've been a little bit more common recently. It's not. I can handle it.
It's a problem. It's a problem that I couldn't help you with because I didn't know.
What are you gonna reprogram it? To make a scanner for it?
Maybe. I haven't thought about it. And she's going to put her arm through yours and say, we should go back and find the others now, okay?
We should don't. What if there are more of them?
Are there? And she looks at you.
I don't know. I could ask, but
We'll just look around. These were the next targets. I don't know where else they would be going. At least not the bomb people.
If you wish, you two may make a recover.
Yes. What can you do with recover?
So you roll with stalwart.
Mhm.
On a 10, you choose to ready a move, weapon, or piece of gear. Spend a tactical pack to heal. I'm knocked out an ally. Shrug it off. Heal just a scratch or I'm rattled on yourself.
So I get an 8 on it.
Okay. So choose two, but the time is ticking.
Okay.
I got a 6.
All right. You find that you cannot clear your mind. You cannot get yourself set. And in the distance, you hear another round of explosions. And the two of you can take off, angling your way back to meet up, following behind where Nikos and Mumiton have kind of cleared a path. And we will take up with that. Let's take 5, take our break here, and we'll can get the big scene here. Okay.
yesterday's Hut Cartel, we had the first scene where a Trandoshan was fighting a Wookiee, and I was kind of pulling for the Trandoshan. I always pull for the Wookiee, but this time I kind of wanted the PC who was a Trandoshan to win. It was pretty great.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
they
good.
did with authority. It was a brutal fight.
We had a weird Star Wars moment in the game last night because a couple of people in our group are rabid. Last Jedi is the worst piece of trash ever made. Rian Johnson should be hung. That kind of like super angry, like physically angry people.
Really weird response.
Yeah. And I've normally avoided that topic with them, but I happen to mention Knives Out, and I'm not giving that guy any money. I know that at some point in the future that particular group is going to blow up when politics gets mentioned, but it's this moment I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, guys.
Is your home group?
Yeah, face to face.
I thought so. I just
Yeah.
double checking.
Yeah.
I just don't think they liked it that it had the trappings of a children's movie,
Yeah.
because it's a children's series of movies that just happen to appeal to a lot of people.
If you're watching this at home and you don't care for The Last Jedi and this particular conversation offends you, I apologize. I will
Make sure to comment constantly. Never
Yes.
leave Lowell alone.
There are a few things I would have liked to have seen differently, but I didn't hate Last Jedi at all.
I enjoyed it. But I've got a very different perspective on the series, though, from some people.
I think that's it.
Nikos, Mumatun, you are moving forward. You've kind of, I assume, being a little more cautious at this point.
Would I have a chance to try and recover?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that
Okay.
move.
Cool. So I'm gonna do that because I really need to. Otherwise, I'm not as effective. So let me find the recover move.
Do you want to recover as well, Nikos?
Sure, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Dang it! Where is that move? Is it under special and commerce or something?
It's
Oh, there it
actually
is.
under
Found it.
combat moves.
Weirdly under combat.
Well, it makes sense now that I know where to look. Okay, so I roll with Stalwart. You're back in the penalty box, Die.
Makes sense for timing. It's just a weird thematic fit.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God I'm rolling with Stalwart. I got an 8.
Okay.
It'll take a little too long, but choose to. But your enemy gets a chance to recover. So I will shrug off. I'm rattled. And I'll ready a weapon that has been discharged. Those are the 2.
Okay.
And I rolled a 6.
All right. So you two will get yourselves together and kind of moving, trying to get into position, and you will, Mumatun, you kind of don't know the layout of this ship. And again, we've got those sort of cloth things, and you move into an area and we see some cloth things, and you will realize that suddenly you're seeing some shapes, like there's a group kind of moving through before you can kind of react. And clearly these guys, whoever they are, they have some tac visor things, and you're like, oh fuck. And then you'll see this figure comes from the side and jumps in the way, and you will hear and you will see this figure come back through the cloth, and you will see Gulav, the guy that you talked to with the ports and stuff, kind of hits the ground in front of you. And you see There are 4 more of these guys, and they've got some equipment with them, and they've got this woman. They've got some kind of hood over her head, and it looks like they are moving to their evac point. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm moving up for Gulag. Like, is he dead? Is he obviously dead? I'm still going to check. I can't not.
Do you have a tactical pack?
I don't know if I have a tactical pack like in my gear list. So no.
How do they not have tactical pack in that gear list?
Maybe I didn't copy it outright.
I don't
No.
think you ever clarified that was what was required for quick healing. Might be why we don't have them.
Oh, okay. So if you want, you may swap one of your gear out for a tactical pack if you want.
That sounds good to me. I will swap out my... Oh, there's so much good gear, guys.
I know.
Okay, my accelerator rifle is less important. I mean, it's super sexy. Don't get me wrong, but I'll call it a tactical pack for now.
Let's have you roll stalwart.
Cool. I will discharge that and roll stalwart. There we go. Sorry. Oh, boxcars +2 is 14.
So you rush, and you've done this for your buddies in firefights before, and you'll grab them up and you're slamming that tactical pack onto him. And what does a tactical pack look like in this for medical healing?
Wow. I don't know what it would look like Coriolis wise, but I kind of imagine that the tactical pack looks like this kind of plastic box that one side you slap against somebody and it will, a bunch of like needles and stuff will like pop out, and then maybe it will even grip onto the skin if need be, and so that it has to deliver drugs and yeah, so it looks like
probably see this like expanding kind of like golden foam kind of come out to do the fill-ins on the wounds around it to kind of seal that whole thing up, and you kind of pull them outside. Nikos, you will see these 4 people. You see that they've got some kind of big case with them. They've got this woman, and they are kind of moving to position to kind of get some cover because they've seen you guys. What do you want to do?
I am going to get on my security tablet and I am going to trigger every alarm that they've got. I'm going to alert the station security forces that this is the hot spot.
Okay. Let's have you roll act quick.
Nine.
Do it, but choose one.
All right, I'll mark a stress.
Okay. In that case, Kyrie and Kala, you are moving down in. You're trying to find your way when suddenly you'll hear a set of alarms like just ahead of where you're at, and you can press forward. What does that look like?
The alarms or us pressing forward?
You pressing forward.
Oh, I think there's a sort of thing of as soon as they come on, I kind of look at Kyrie and we nod, and I think like she's got her arm linked with him, and I think she sort of grabs his wrist more and slides down, and the two of them are sort of running, and she's still got a hold of his wrist as she's running.
So the two of you will blow through, and you get into one of these bigger areas here. Now, again, I described that we have these wooden frames with this cloth and carpets and things like that. So you're in a room, and imagine that there are tatters of cloth. Like if we were in a Stallone movie, it'd be the plastic that's in the factory hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
But we see that, and it's kind of this gallery of weird moving fabric, some of it probably on fire. You probably catch a glimpse through this of some people in the suits like those others that you saw moving around. You'll catch at the corner of your eye, can just see Mumaton pulling somebody to safety. You don't know if it's Nikos or not. What do you do, Kyrie, when you see this kind of chaotic situation here?
I'll grab Kala's shoulder from behind and like haul her down with me to lower height. Stop, wait, just look around. They're in here. What's going on?
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm open to ideas.
Okay.
We could set something on fire.
It's already on fire.
True. Good point.
All right. So I think what we got to do is get them. It's not my best thing, but that's typically what the captain would do.
Oh, really? So that's you could come up with something better than get them, but you feel like it's not your actual bottom. Like you could have something worse, like just a vocalized question mark.
Oh, yeah. I could do that and get them at the same time, though. I'm a multitasker. I'll look for options. And she will pull up her scanner.
Do you want to scope it out?
Yeah, I want to scope it out.
Okay, then let's have you roll with calculating.
Does my scanner give me an advantage or something when I do that? Is that what it is?
Let me check under your
Yes.
equipment. Yes.
It does. Okay. Okay, so that gives me a 13.
All right, so you get 3 questions.
All right.
And feel free to modify them again to the situation.
Okay. My first thing is making the assumption that what it gives me is where they're at. I want to go, how can we approach them that we can catch them unawares? Do we need to go?
They haven't seen you yet. They're focused on the figures that they saw. Imagine that there's the room here, over here, sort of Mumaton and in the rectangle on one side, and then if you take the L, you guys have come in kind of to the side. They've split. They're moving through this hall of fabrics and stuff, kind of keeping low. They've clearly split into like 2 people kind of holding the center, and then the other 2 kind of moving out to flank and get into better position here, going low, got their weapons out.
Right.
What's your second question?
All right. I want to go essentially, what's our best opportunity to take out one of the flanking people without them catching on that that's what we've done? So essentially, what are we
you
gonna
got
need
the
to do?
timing of, you're watching his movements, you're seeing what's ahead of you. You see that there's a heavier carpet that is obscuring vision, and that if you can get set up behind that, when they come by and maybe try to get behind it, it'll block their line of sight to their pals and to Mumaton and Nikos. If you take them out at that moment, you can take this one.
All right. And then let's see. And the other thing that I want to know is, where is the woman?
The pair that's in the center, one of them is hauling Argamina with them.
Okay. So essentially that's
and yes, to answer your question, yeah, that's Argamina. So
okay.
That's part of it. Okay.
Okay. All right then. Then I will tell him where we're going to set up for our first get 'em. Okay. I will tell Kyrie how we're going to do that. He's coming over by that carpet. So we're just going to meet him over there and give him a nap time.
I can take care of him. You have to make sure that those 2 don't get away with her.
Okay. I can do that.
And also don't get killed.
Oh, I don't plan to.
Good.
Same to you.
Okay, because Captain would be really, he's given me a lot of lectures about not letting you get killed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's never said that to me. But
with long pausing.
Yeah, okay, just figure it out.
You 2 kind of get
And yeah,
position.
Kyrie will hit the chameleon suit. Well, actually, he'll, for camera purposes, pull out his skirmish silent Dura sword and
Okay.
vroom it up, and then hit the chameleon suit to go invisible.
And it looks amazing because there's all these colorful fabrics moving around in here, kind of wafting. And as you move through, we see them kind of slightly distorted by your chameleon suit, and you're going to move up into position. She set you up, put you in an advantageous position. You get one shot at the alpha strike, but I'm going to give you advantage because of your device.
Oh, good. Let's see. It's still 0. But yes, do thing page. All right, all you guys, even you, sucky one, be good. Okay, you're still sucky, but the other two, that is an 11.
That is an 11. So pick the two you want from that.
I disable them, and my position isn't exposed or compromised.
Okay. So you will take them down. They are still conscious if you disable them so they can communicate. So just telling you that. But they don't see you in this moment. I'm saying, but they're not going to be able to communicate immediately.
Okay.
But just to
they're
tell
not
you that
out of the fight.
they're not. Yeah. So
Okay.
Kind of get this. What does that look like? I mean, how do you do that?
So I think he's we see the shot of the soldier like sneaking through and getting behind this carpet, which has like a intricate pattern on it, sort of a geometric pattern woven into it, and the angles just start to distort and warp a little bit as Kyrie steps out, and there's like several slashes with the sword that go by silently, and they're hitting like the power cell for his gun and the wire that goes up to his communications earpiece, and then like the back of the knee to knock him down.
Okay.
And Kyrie sort of follows him to the ground to follow up in a minute.
All right. Mumaton, you've got pulled him, Gulab, off to the side. You've got that pack on there. You look over, you can see that there's more alarms going off, forcing these guys' hands. You can tell that they're moving through here, but again, a warehouse of fabrics moving that's kind of obscuring your vision. What do you want to do?
Is he unconscious, I assume?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He is stabilized. He is not going to die.
Stabilized but unconscious. So she kind of slides him off the side of the corridor where people would run by him thinking he's a dead body, and then she's going to she's recharged her carbine, so she's gonna head back into the fray. She's not aware of this like bomb that they have stopped. She just knows that there are more people running around and they have weapons that can be used to shoot holes in the ship, so she'll be heading after them.
So I think you're taking a more direct route, so I think we're going to have you do firefight.
Okay, awesome. And
essentially, Ghost Recon kind of moving up, taking some shots, moving from spot to spot. They probably returning some fire.
Can I lay down some covering fire to assist?
Absolutely. Roll with Stalwart.
Oh, wait patiently for that.
Ooh, 6.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a second, Nikos.
All right, here we go. Oh, man, I could have used it too. I rolled a 6.
Rolled a 6.
Yeah.
So you will kind of move up. And again, it's hard to see here. And you see the movement of the two, and you're like, and you kind of turn to that. And from through one of these fabric things, this gun butt comes through and sends your carbine flying. And you're up close with this guy, and you can see he's got a Mercurium blade, and he is like up tightly on you, like he's going to try and kill you. You're not going to take any harm, but you're going to be at disadvantage on your next action. Nikos, you kind of step out, kind of lay down some covering fire, and then you'll feel that sort of cold steel feeling on the back of your head as somebody puts a barrel to it, and you will hear, "You should set your gun down."
Yeah, I am going to, I will set my gun down. And this sounds like it would be a good time to negotiate.
Okay.
That's so. We've blown your operation here. There's no point in making things worse for yourself. There's no way you're getting off this station unnoticed anymore.
Says, "You don't understand. Everyone is fleeing for the lifeboats here. This is a mess, Captain Nikos. And we will be out of here very shortly. I would prefer to keep you alive because you're valuable. The Foundation has certainly noticed your activities."
Oh dear! You just triggered one of my hooks.
I know.
Yes.
So we're going to come back to you. Your gun is on the floor there. This guy's got a gun to the back of your head, and he says the Foundation, and you start to see red. We will come back to that. Kyrie, how do you finish this guy? I mean, what do you do? Do you kill him, or do you just knock him unconscious? You can. You have the full option to do it because you've got him absolutely at your mercy. But I want to know what you do.
I think
Your
like I
Jin's
said,
going, kill him.
I think Kyrie's like following him to the ground, like I said, as I knock his knee out from under him. And I think he like raises his sword for another strike. And there's sort of that superimposed vision of the Jinn whispering at him. But he looks down at this face, and I think all he sees is Kala with that like exasperated disappointment of we can fix this. Why did you do this? This is something we could work on. And like throwing the sword aside into the carpet, he like leans down with his forearm into the guy's throat until he passes out, and he sort of staggers to his feet to look around and see what's going on in the combat.
Let's have you make a scope it out.
Oh, feck. Everything's always looking at stuff, and I'm bad at looking at stuff. Let's be extra bad at looking at stuff. I think the Jinn is probably very unhappy that I just ignored him for no good reason. So I'll push on one of my hooks and take disadvantage. So that's a 2.
That is a 2. So Kala, you see Kyrie kind of stand up, and there's that bit of a flicker as the chameleon suit kind of stops, and you'll hear butta butta butta. Kyrie, please take 2 harm as one of those 2 in the middle sees you and puts a couple of bullets in you.
Ow.
Kala, what do you do?
think, wow. Here's the thing is he's giving me a distraction.
Go on.
All right. Let's see here. Can I slide him a tactical pack on the floor? And I want to position myself so that I can I have a jury rig plan, because for some reason I always carry this pressure survival tent around with me.
Okay.
And now is the time that I can make use of this. So I am getting ready to do a jury rig. So I want to position myself.
So I think it's a free move to kick the tactical pack over to Kyrie. Let's have you roll your jury rig.
All right. So I know these frames. I know that like how all this stuff is set up. And I also know how this thing is made so that you can like you can secure it to things. So I essentially am going to toss up a line so that when it goes off, it's going to pull her up to the ceiling, essentially.
Okay.
If that makes any sense, and back a ways. I just want her out of the way when I open fire. So that's my plan.
Okay.
So here I am, and I'm rolling. So that's a 7 plus 3 is a 10.
Okay. Pick 2.
Okay. I'm going to say it doesn't take long to do it, and
Okay.
it does exactly what I want.
Okay.
It will never work again, but
You will fling that out with the line. It's got lines to attach it. They're like magnaplas, things that hit to the ceiling, and these things are meant to be sort of emergency survival tent things. So they actually will, if you drop them on something, they'll move to absorb it, and you will fling it down, and it will land on Argamina. They kind of pushed her back behind. It got her on her knees while they're pacing, and suddenly she is yanked up into the ceiling in this tent, and so she is for the moment safe, but that thing is probably going to give out here very shortly.
yes.
It's not meant to hang people like a hammock, but we'll come back. Mumaton, this guy's up by you, up in your face. That blade is there, kind of got in under your guard, and he's trying to be quiet because he wants to kill you quietly. You can go and start killing other people quietly.
Sure. That makes sense. If only I had my grape rifle right now, that would be kind of great. But instead, I think she's gonna pull out her Mercurian sword. This is a sword battle on a falling space station, and I kind of love it.
Okay.
She's rolling with disadvantage as a reminder to myself. And I guess this is still firefight, even though we're using swords, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, let me roll disadvantage. Wow, that's pretty great. That is a 7 plus 2 from Volatile gives me a 9. I will exchange harm with this sucker.
Okay.
And yeah, you can't discharge a sword, so
Right.
I can't do that. I will play it cagey and suffer -1 harm.
So your sword does how much harm?
3.
Okay. So you're playing it cagey. You've got that sword. He's got this knife. He goes and he pulls another one. He's kind of trying to parry that back. You guys are moving back. You're slashing through the carpeting. That is, the bits of that are falling to the ground in kind of slow motion. Some of them on fire. And he kind of gets in and he gets one shot. Tags on your armor, kind of pushes you back, and then he's trying to follow that momentum to come around and maybe get another shot behind you when you turn and pivot and you bring that blade right through him. And just push, and that Mercurian blades are so sharp, cuts into his side. It takes him a second to realize that you've cut him like that. And then we would see him stagger back behind this sort of white carpeted sheet, and then we see the blood spray turn that sheet red, and we see that kind of pouring down, and we hear the sound of the body hitting the floor. Nikos, there is that moment when you're like, okay, and then suddenly you hear this whoosh, poof, and you see this tent hit the ceiling. What do you do?
I hit a button on my security tablet,
Okay.
and on like the public view screens nearby, the conversation that I just had with this guy starts playing, where he implicates the Foundation.
What is your intent with this?
My intent is to piss this guy off.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Was this supposed to be a covert operation? And I hold up my holograph, which has intersystem communication capability, and it's got this blinking transmission light on.
Yeah, even though you don't know yet that those transmissions are getting scrambled, but certainly in the moment, he is not going to be thinking about that. So yes, you're going to make him angry, and he's got a gun to the back of your head. So what is your intent there? Because my read on this is that he's going to shoot you. Do you think this is a setup for you to try and act quick to get out of his way? Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly trying to piss him off, but I'm also trying to get him angry so that he makes some mistake and I have a chance to move.
Okay, so you have a chance to move. What do you do with that? Are you going to grab for your gun and shoot him with your reflexes, or are you going to try and just get out of the way?
I think I'm going to try to get out of the way and get some cover.
Absolutely. Let's have you act quick.
11.
So yeah, he's like, what? And then whew, you are in amongst the carpet and the fabrics and stuff, and you roll out of his way, and there's probably a couple of as he fires after you and misses. Yeah, you will get out of that, even as we can hear this blaring view screen static probably kind of on them. Probably some of the fire is hitting those screens, so they're kind of bubbling and starting to get that blurred image there. Kyrie, what do you do?
So what is the state of bad guys with guns at this point?
There are 2 in the middle. They no longer have Argamina.
There.
But there's also probably get a sense that there's somebody else at this other hallway who started to fire. You probably see Captain Nikos roll into the room with somebody firing behind them.
Okay, well, Nikos is an expert and knows what he's doing,
Absolutely,
and I've never
yeah.
actually seen him in a bad situation, so I think he's got
You'll be
this.
fine. Okay.
I think I'd pull out my. Oh no, I don't have my pistol. Then I'd run at the people in the center of the room with my sword to valiantly assault them.
That sounds like firefight.
Ugh.
And what are you at wound level?
I'm rattled. Yeah, rattled.
Okay.
So that's slicker calculating.
Yep, doesn't affect that yet.
So can I assist him? Since
Yeah.
I've also drawn their attention, and so we've at least split their attention. And
Absolutely. I think you should definitely roll stalwart to help them. I mean, there's no chance that his problems could fall back on you.
Of course not.
exactly.
So let's have you roll stalwart first.
Okay. All right. So that's a 10 to assist.
And how are you assisting? What is happening? Laying down fire? Are you throwing things
I'm
out?
essentially laying down fire.
Okay. Covering fire, kind of going
Exactly.
around you. Kyrie, as you rush through this, come out from nowhere. Let's have you roll firefight with advantage.
And do I have any? I do have a stress. So I'll clear one of those too. They clear stress. Yes, they clear stress. That over here. You guys who are gonna do better this time, right? 9 plus 2? Yep, 11.
Look at that. So you exchange harm and choose 3.
Again, can't discharge a sword. I'm sitting at a lot of harm, and there's 2 of them, so I'll play KG and suffer -1 harm.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I halt and advance. Basically, I hold them in this position.
Okay. So almost kind of forcing them out of cover in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think you will. You've got the damage on the sword is like a 3, right?
It's a 2.
2. So you will cut into one of them and wound him badly. But there is that thing when that pistol fires into you, and you're going to take 2 harm, reduced by 1, so 1 harm. Right. And you are up with them.
And
yes?
Actually, for the third one, I'm going to then disengage and take a moment to recover.
Okay, let's fractal that.
So yeah, I come across, I get one of them solidly, and I think like trying to cover his buddy is what pulls the second one out of his cover and holds him there.
Okay.
And then Chameleon Suitor Kyrie's still fast, so he makes it to the other side and like through a couple of these curtains, and he sort of disappears into the chaos again.
Roll with Stalwart.
Stalwart, which is still not one of my. Oh wait, I took another harm in there, didn't I?
Yep.
So that gets to I'm hurt bad, which if you disadvantaged any roll requiring physical exertion.
Which I'm not going to worry about that for this.
Okay.
Because you got a tactical pack.
Stalwart. That's a 6. I think I have a stalwart. It is. It's a 7.
Okay. Choose 2.
There you are. Choose 2, but your enemy gets to take a chance to better position, prepare themselves. Of course they do. I'm in that weird no man's land where I can't be healed. So I'll ready 2 moves.
Okay. Kind of roll, clear yourself, move over. The one guy's kind of gripping his chest, kind of he's going for a tactical pack. The other guy is spinning around, but he's now exposed. Cover. Mumaton.
Mm-hmm.
You will see there's a wound. The sort of the breeze hits, and you'll see the cloth kind of move away from these 2 guys in the center. You'll see one of them again hurt. The other one is kind of spinning around. He's exposed right now. You saw the blur of Kyrie kind of went up, hit him, and there's still some covering fire from Kala. You kind of look over where you saw that other fire by Nikos, and that guy is gone.
Nice. Yeah, I think she's gonna cycle into the carbine and unload on these guys. Like, there's a moment where she thinks, I wonder if I could talk them down. Nah, I should probably just kill them.
Roll firefight. They're still armed, still dangerous here.
Yeah, that's why they have to go. That is an 11 plus 2, a 13.
Okay. Pick your thing. If you discharge your weapon, I think you can drop both of them.
That is a thing I do.
Okay. And play it KG?
I'll play it KG, and then my third is disengage and take a moment to recover.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your recover as you and these 2 crash to the ground. You'll hear that the smash as the piece of equipment that they were carrying kind of hits the ground there. Nikos, you've kind of rolled for cover, gotten yourself away. You look up and you don't see that guy in the hallway, but you will see suddenly Momaton up, gunfire, and the two in the center drop. You're muted.
I think I'll take a moment to scope it out.
Roll with calculating.
5. Oh, I am racking up so much experience this session.
Off screen, we will see that guy who had the gun to your back of your head. We see him catch up with a couple members of the team, and they're like, "Where are the others?" And he goes, "Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. We got what we need. Let's go. Let's go." And they are getting to their escape skiff right now. Kala, you see the bottom of the tent start to bow.
Mm-hmm. And I will, should we say, I will use the frames and the fabric to essentially do the sort of firefighter tent to catch it as it falls and minimize any damage. So, yeah.
You will catch that, get her down, kind of deflate the thing, and you will see this woman. She's got this hood on that has some kind of electrostatic field going on it, and she's must be in her 50s, and looks a little frail.
All right. And I'll apologize to her for the rough handling, and I'll say, let me help you get that hood off, okay?
And we're out of combat. So if anybody wants to do a recover roll, actually, let's see, with the outside of hostile situations, you may ready a move, weapon, or piece of gear after a scene. So if there's anything you want to clear there.
My scanner.
Okay.
What was that equipment that they left behind, though?
So you kind of move up. You can hear the sounds like you can hear that some of the alarms are starting to diminish. Some of the crew is getting control of some areas. You haven't heard any more explosions in a while. You will go up and you will see there's this box, pretty sophisticated. Like this is a bespoke piece of technology. Sort of handcrafted, but it almost looks like a portable microwave oven in some ways.
Is it the scrambler?
No, when you pop it open, you will see that the disc is in there.
Oh, interesting.
The gold disc that you are looking for. It's kind of weird, and it looks like it's like this was built to hold it.
Really? Like to keep it safe or whatever?
Yeah, but it's clearly more than that. We'll come back to you in just a second. Kyrie, what are you doing?
Were there any of them that they left behind that are still alive?
I think you guys have gacked all of them.
Except
for the one that you didn't gack. So somehow you've managed to come through with one of these guys alive.
Haha, I did it. I didn't kill someone.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. So yeah, while he's unconscious and choked out, seems like a really advantageous time to just bore straight through his mind without any regard for the consequences.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll Mind Spike. And because they're asleep, unconscious, I'll give you advantage on this roll.
Ooh, fancy. 7, 8, 9.
9. So on a 7 and 9, only skim surface thoughts. Basically, it's operational details. Get in, this guy isn't privy to the core elements. He's escorting people that kind of knew what was going on. Small team, dangerous. Like if they get captured, they know that the Nomad Federation is going to kill them regardless. There's no mercy for them having done this, but they're being paid top dollar, enough that it was worth the risk. Doesn't know who his employer is. He was just kind of following orders. Does that seem fair?
Well, no, but Kyrie will like stand up and like throw that carpet out of the way and say, "Damn it, this guy doesn't know anything."
It's amazing how these disposable mercenaries are treated like they're disposable.
Kyrie will kick the rug over him. Why were they even here? What was this?
Well, obviously they were trying to get Argamina, and they're after the same disc we're after.
If they're after the disc in Argamina, why did they blow up this entire station?
I mean, it was a pretty effective distraction.
I mean, they seemed defective. They probably could have gotten in and out without as many explosions or sinking an entire ship into a gas giant.
Yeah. By the way, Kala, is this station about to sink into a gas giant? Is there something you could do to stabilize that?
Oh, it'll be fine.
See, you're exaggerating again, making too much of things.
What? I am not. Okay, look. Why?
Right. Not exaggerating, but you were using hyperbole.
There were bombs all over the station. It was about to blow up and vent the entirety. That's not the. Okay, the point is, why? Why are so many random people coming for the same things we are at the exact same time we are, if none of them know anything about us?
Oh, they probably know all about us.
That's not helping.
Mumaton, what are you doing?
I think Mumaton she's readied her carbine again. She's listening to them talking. She's paying more attention to Kala, letting Kyrie vent is just part of how things go. So
Rude.
Mumaton doesn't seem to be terribly disturbed by this. So
you can see that Gulav has kind of pulled himself over to sit up against the wall, and you will hear sounds, and you will see a group of. They don't look like they're like fully trained warriors, but they're armed. A couple of those inspectors and things like that, and you will see that woman, Heba, the tall woman with the missing arm. And they come kind of bursting in, clearly having been led by the alarms that Nico set off. And she says, "Oh, thank the dancer, you're safe. Are you okay?"
More or less.
And
I've been shot several times.
She gestures.
That would be the best.
to go over, and a couple of them will come and check on you to make sure you're okay. And she says, "Who are these people?"
Foundation.
Foundation?
Mercenaries. One of them taunted me.
She says, "We've secured the ship. We've got the pods. Most of the people have managed to escape off to the other ships in the swarm, but we've got the engine stabilized. Let's go to the forward deck. It's the most secure. We're fairly certain that there's none of them left on the ship at this point."
Is there somewhere that we can take Argamina? She's had
Yes.
a tough day.
Yes, until we're absolutely sure that they're all off the station. You should assign a security detail to her.
bring her with us, and she'll gesture to a couple of the people to see to her, and she says, she kind of leans and she said, there wasn't anyone else with her, their husbands.
No, not that we saw.
She kind of shakes her head, and then she'll see, and she goes, Gulov, and he kind of raises his hand to acknowledge the thing, but he still looks very weak, Wilmington. And she'll say, she'll look at you and she says, can you help carry him?
Of course.
And she will lead a group. She picks up a couple of other people as you go along. Again, they have simple weapons and things, and they kind of skirt through. They kind of constantly check to see if the systems are back up yet, or if the comms can go through. And eventually they will get you up to that ceremonial dining area that you were in yesterday. And that's clearly been cleared as some kind of a command and triage center. And there's some doctors there. They will take Gulov from you. They will come over to you, Kyrie, and they will say, come with us and we'll treat your wounds.
Kyrie looks uncomfortable with being led off by doctors away from the group.
There's just a few tests we have to perform.
Yeah, things on the walls start rattling.
Okay, I'll go with him.
Okay. Does that calm you, Kyrie?
Yeah, he still looks unsure, but the walls will stop shaking and he'll go forward with like very narrowed eyes at the two med techs.
They'll take you over to a table, and they don't have tactical packs, but they've got medical gear, and they will sit you down and start doing some scans and then some spray stitches after they've got these things that they put to your wound, and they push it, and you can feel the bullet go whoop up into them, pulled, and they will treat your wounds. You may clear your harm.
Cool. And I think with Kala there, like calming me and all, I think he's like staring intently at her, and I'm wondering if you'd be interested in trying an Embrace Eternity sort of mind meld move, Sherry?
Sure.
All right. So it's when you gently reach out and mingle your mind with the energies and auras of something living nearby. So very outside my expertise.
Roll with
The
volatile.
Roll with volatile.
Oh,
it's not alien. It's weird. There we go. You guys and that. Oh, it's a 10. That's a 12.
no.
So it's
Unprecedented.
I know, right? It's like the bottom move on my column, but basically I get to ask you 2 questions and you get to ask me 1 back.
Oh, okay.
What do you have faith in?
She has absolute faith in the integrity of the world, in the sort of weird that there's a way and a set of rules, and that the physics and the stuff of it, and that's what protects us from the dark. Is that the world itself protects us from the dark, and the dark is what's beyond that.
Is it based on the icons at all, or is it just sort of parallel to, or maybe tangential to some of that?
The icons are what do you say? They are part of the pillars. They are essentially, the world was formed and they are the expression of the world that is there for us to comprehend and to try to understand.
Interesting. Do you have one on there that you want to ask me?
Yeah. Who or what do you love?
So I think I think you get a vision of Amit, that hound that we ran across, that Kyrie sort of connected with and let go. And it's like not a romantic sort of love, but Kyrie very much views him as like another version of himself, and through that, all of the other hounds, like where he's maybe been violent or in the past, like I think you sense in him that he doesn't have it anymore in him to like hurt or go against the hounds. That he's on a mission to do whatever he can for them at this point.
Okay.
And you get one more question. I want to put a pin in that. We'll come back to that because I want to see what the others are doing. Mumaton, a lot of people around. They're kind of getting things together. They're confirming that there are no other bogies on the ship. They're rebooting systems. This reminds you of a battlefield hospital. They've clearly kind of moved to that. What are you doing?
I think Mumaton, she slides out of the way unless she sees an obvious place where she can put a hand in. This isn't really her place. So there's a little bit of, I say, a look of discomfort as much as she falls into a more detached pose unless there's a job to do. She just stays out of the way of the people that are doing what they're here for.
Eventually, one of these physicians comes over and says, Gulov is asking for you.
She'll go over to Gulov, kneel down by him or stand over him.
And he kind of looks up and he's like, I have to thank you.
It was nothing.
It was very strange.
What was strange?
I saw you and your compatriot in danger, and I threw myself in the way to save you. And I thought to myself, this is a good way to die. This is a good way to go out. This is a good way to pass on. But when I laid there, I realized I did not want to die. And then you were over me, and I could feel you put the packet on me. I did not know I wanted to live.
I'm glad that you do.
And you'll see one of the doctors come over and kind of wipe the tears away from his eyes there. I thank you.
Yes. I'm glad. I'm glad you're still here.
And he says, kind of does his thing with his fingers and kind of says for you to kind of lean a little bit closer.
She would.
My stash is under that game board in my rooms if you need it.
I would only take it if we shared. So you have to get better.
Fair enough. And Heba will come over to you, Captain Nikos, and she will say, we owe you a great debt. I've spoken with Argamina, and she said that if you hadn't intervened, that they would have taken her.
And I say, it was our duty as your guests to help in a time of need.
It is more than that. The icons blessed us that you should be here at this time. They put these things together. You came looking for Argamina to be her protectors. And I am sorry for how my mother spoke with you about that yesterday. But
clearly she was right to be wary. Argamina was in great danger.
she said, when my mother returns, I will tell her of this. But we've looked at this device that they were carrying. What is this disc?
I believe this is Argamina's story to tell. She should be present.
All right. And they will come to where you are, Kyrie, when you're up, and Kala and kind of Mumaton, and they will bring you over to where the doctors are, checking Argamina's pulse and so on. You can see she's got probably a burn mark around her neck from where the hood was, and she will kind of look up at you as you come forward, and her eyes linger on Kyrie. And she will say, you came to speak with me. What is it you wish to know?
What happened?
And I assume you mean the disc.
To search for the gate.
We had been gathered by a scion of Cheleb's Manau. He had tracked down people who had collected the pieces. I had one. At that time, I was a researcher, an archaeologist of a kind. And the others, I assume you know who they were. We brought the discs together. The Cheleb's Manau scion had 2 of the discs. And we had information tracking back to a particular star system. And so we traveled there. And when we reached that place, we went to where we believed a hidden gate was. And we tried to use the device, but one of us had done something and locked the area. And it was at that point that the owner of the ship, the Chelebs Scion, was that point that he informed us that one of the discs was a counterfeit. And then we were all flung into the dark. I don't know how long I was there. I don't remember, but I remember holding on to the disc that I had brought, that it had somehow come back to me. And I found myself on Kua in the middle of the desert. I did not know where the others were. I did not see them, but the disc spoke to me and it began to show me things of the future. I knew that it would get worse. And so I fled here. I fled for a long time before I found my way to the swarm. And they took me in. They had techniques, medicines, things to help me keep from seeing as much. Each day I have lived for these last 20 years, I see a little more of the future than the last day. It leaks through. And I can see everything a few moments ahead. I said this to you a minute ago. In my mind, it is all doubled. It is too much. Seeing the future, all of it, just ahead.
This gate, though, what does it lead to? Is it just a hole into the dark?
No, it is a gate to another system, hidden and locked from even before the time of the Portal Wars. It is a gate to somewhere that was not known even when we arrived, when the first comers came here. Who knows what's there? I don't.
And this counterfeit disc, you think someone sabotaged the rest of you?
I think Chelebs was suspicious, and I actually suspect that he intended to kill all of us and take our discs. But he never got that chance because Pbta tried to take the disc for herself. And she lived too, and she joined the Foundation.
And what about the voice? How do you live with that?
I did not have the voice of the Jinn in my disc.
Did she say something spoke to her?
It is not like that. I have the eyes of the Jinn in my disc. That is my curse. The disc is yours if you want it. I know that's why you have come. But you need to stop Pbta. She has the last piece, but she has been working for the last 2 decades to not need the other pieces.
does that mean?
And she points to the device that it was in. She has been trying to artificially unlock it. I know that she wanted the disc, but she would take a scan of it. And that is what that thing did. It scanned and broadcast, relayed to others the information. She has ship makers and the Foundation behind her, and she will attempt to open that gate. But that is not what she really wants.
What does she want?
She has the rage of the Jinn in her disc. And that Jinn will use this to open the dark in portals across the horizon, so that even sleeping as you travel through them will not be enough. Then everyone who travels through the gates will go mad.
How would it be better to bring more of the Jinn together? If just its eyes or just its voice can cause this sort of destruction, its rage, why would you still want to bring them all together?
I don't know. I do not see past this day. That is your choice to make. But the Jinn, sliced and disrupted in these discs as it is not whole.
Every piece of it seems tainted and wrong. I don't
Because
see how bringing it together would be better.
that is not for me to decide. But this is a thing that has been dismembered. And in that dismemberment, this is all it can be. And you will see Heba's like, I think I should probably take Argamina to rest now. And she will get a couple of the doctors to take her away. And Heba will say, we are calling people back to the ships. We've got things under control here. The time is not determined by us, but by the sun fan itself. And this evening we will be gathering those who wish to go and wish to descend down to the planet, down to the atmosphere, because we will not have a chance after this. If you still wish to do this, we will give you a place of honor in it.
Thank you. I would be honored to participate.
And she will gesture, and you will see Illumere comes up and says, we should begin the cleansing ritual, then the chance for you. And she'll turn to you, Kyrie.
If we have the time, she sort of double checks with Nikos, then yes.
Then follow me, and we will perform the ceremony. And she will take you off. And Heba will turn to you, Mumatun, and you, Kala, and she says, there is a place where we watch from. Do you wish to watch? Some do not.
Yes. I want to see.
Turns to you, Mumatun.
I will watch. I will witness.
And we will kind of cut forward to one of the ends of the ship, clearly kind of custom built. It's unusual to have this large a set of view screens and things set up in here, but it kind of spans these rounded walls of this room. There are cushions that are there. You have the sense there's probably fewer people than there might otherwise be, just because of the chaos and people being in different parts of the ship and so on. But they will bring you down, and they put you at the left hand of the sheikh, and her daughter sits at the right hand, and the others will file in and kind of settle themselves. And bowls are brought for you to wash and clean your hands, sort of a purification ritual, kind of wipe that down. You can feel you kind of get the gunpowder grit off of yourself there, Mumatun. And they will set you there, and then there's kind of a murmured conversation. And Nikos, Kyrie, you've done these rituals, you've done these ceremonies, and you are in these enormous diver suits. And I want you to imagine that you're almost like in a cargo bay kind of thing. And there's you, and there's another, a dozen of these kids, fewer than there were in the training. Like, several of them have clearly decided that this is not what they want to do. And they've got these lines hooked up to your suits, and they kind of get you to the end of the cargo bay. They've got the lines set up there, and you will hear this whirring as this big bulkhead kind of comes down and shuts behind you. And then you will see the cargo bay doors start to lift up. The wind, all the air is kind of vented out, and you are hanging, above the gas giant, above the planet. And you will see off in the corner of your vision this enormous metal flower thing kind of opening up, and it's almost blinding as the sunlight catches on this, and the light of that then passes across this upper atmosphere, and you will see like stars and crystalline form there in that. And they will launch you. Like, there are little rocket things on the back of this that launch you down, and you are plummeting downwards towards the atmosphere. And you, for a bit, it's almost like you don't get the sensation of falling, but then you feel the gravity of the planet hit, and you definitely get that sensation. What is going through your head, Nikos, as you plummet towards the planet here?
It's like, woohoo! This is like the best roller coaster ever.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. So a lot of the kids are kind of keeping themselves up tight. They're keeping their body in tight. You, Muatun, Kala, you can see on the view screen, you see Nikos, and his arms are like, yes, like he is cheering 100% as he descends. And Kyrie?
I think Kyrie is just like chanting the prayers over and over again, and trying to stay like calm and still inside of this.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if the like meditative falling through space might be a chance to try and reach out and mingle my mind with the energies of the djinn.
Yeah. Let's have you roll that.
Try and use this as an opportunity to open my mind to it. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Absolutely. There's almost no way that this could go wrong.
Of course not. Let's see, do I have any? Strangely not something I'm specifically afraid of.
Not specifically.
My dice are trying real hard, but that's a 7 dice. You can't get me.
Oh, I was so excited there for a minute. Unclamp yourself. You hear? No. So
that's one question back and forth off
yeah.
of Embrace
and
Eternity.
also we're not going to forget that you still have another question for Kala, but I just kind of wanted to move forward here. What is it you want to ask this fragment of the djinn?
So much. What are you willing to sacrifice for your beliefs?
The djinn believe in themselves. They believe in themselves. They believe in who they are and what they need to be. And you know, there are other ones, the Ifrit and so on, but the other beings, and it's other things like people and the other universe don't really, it doesn't consider any of that a sacrifice. Like that doesn't enter into its calculations. So it would rather be nothing, because that's a right way, or it needs to be whole. Like that is its universe, is itself, and if it can't be itself, then it should be nothing. And it will ask you, what are you willing to sacrifice for your beliefs?
Sorry, looking at a map real quick. That's it, Zalos. He would and is prepared to like burn Zalos, the planet, raise everything on it if he could stop the order or get the hounds out. I think he's very much just like written off that entire system that they've closed off for themselves. Anyone in there, they're all traitors. They've all turned.
Jin says, who is the monster? And you will hit the atmosphere, and it could say, just like suddenly buffeted, electrical storms are around you. The high winds, the pull of the gravity is shaking and shimmying around here. You kind of see the crystals there. Captain, you can see one of these these chunks of crystalline material. Do you want to try and take a risk and grab it?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's have you roll slick.
Seven.
So I think that you will get down there, and it is when you kind of are just kind of grab a section of this, when you will feel you hit that end of the line, and you've got a hold of a piece of it, and then and you are suddenly yanked. This they warned you about this, the gravity change of the sudden deceleration in the pole of the planet, and you will get just a handful sized chunk, and you will whoosh back up. Kyrie, it seems to me you're probably a little distracted that these things aren't as important to you, right?
Yeah, no. I probably, if that had gone better, I might try and reach for telekinesis or something, but I think he's more thrown off by the experience and then like thrown back into the sudden violence of reality.
Yeah. And you will see, you're getting yanked, you will see one of the people close by you, you see something hit their line, and you will see it snap, and you will see them tumble down into the atmosphere.
Could I try and grab at them?
Oh, okay. Is your move? You recharged it, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if you can do this.
That's volatile. Oh, geez. It's 13.
So, Mumaton, Kala, you guys are watching from this. They have cameras that are kind of close in on the stuff, and you see Nikos is one of the first to pull back up. You see a glint in his hand, and people are cheering. You'll see a couple of the other kids like get a hold of things, and there's more cheers. And you see a couple, they clap even if they don't grab anything. And you'll see Kyrie start to get pulled up, and you'll see the next one, that line snap, and everyone just gasps. And then you see it stop, and you can see Kyrie coming up, and this thing is running parallel, and it kind of gets pulled up to where Kyrie's at, and everyone just like, it gets dead silent in here. And then you see get pulled, and when they see that it actually gets pulled back to the platform, that's when the crowd erupts in cheers, like absolutely just goes mad, insane with cheering there.
I was really afraid I'd done some sort of sacrilege for a second there.
That was my intent.
Yeah, and like I drop my chunk of crystal, and I waddle over and I embrace him in this big mech suit hug.
And they will bring all of you back in, and even though their luxuries are somewhat reduced by the attack, they bring out food and drink and coffee and everything, and they will bring all of the kids and Mumaton and Kyrie, and you will see the cheering, and everyone is just like, and this young woman is just, she grabs on and hugs you because she knows that you saved her life. And they bring you all in, and it was just a loud, raucous, and then there's that thing where the silence kind of falls, and you will see the sheikh say, she kind of stands and she will say, "You four, all four of you, you are part of our tribe now. You are welcome amongst this swarm. Anytime, in any place, you are our brethren." And there'll be another round of cheering that will go up from that. They don't have medals for you, but it's close to that kind of thing there. And I think that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Does that sound good? We will take up. We've got 2 sessions left to track down Pbta and stop her. Before that, who Pbta, who is allied with both the Foundation and the Lascarid, we'll bring that to bear. We will put the hounds on scene as well, just for your benefit, Kyrie. So, end of session. I don't know if I should give you any XP because you guys got a lot of XP from your rolls.
I didn't. I succeeded on all of mine.
Did you complete a mission or contract? I'm going to say yes. Everybody can mark an XP for that. Did you learn something new and important about the universe? Mumaton? Do you think?
Yeah, I think just listening to all of the weirdness of the pieces that we've been seeking out, that's pretty revelatory.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Nikos, what else did you? Everybody's going to mark an XP for this, but I'm going to ask you, Nikos, what else do you think the group learned?
And I think we learned a bit more about what went wrong with the gate and what they were trying to find with the gate.
All right, and Kyrie, what did you learn?
I think definitely more about the sort of nature and personality, desires, whatever,
Yeah.
of the Jinn.
That seems perfect. So, Mark, and then Sherry, what else did you learn?
Who my true enemy is.
Okay. So everybody got to mark an XP for that. And then did we make a new enemy or thwart an existing enemy? Yes. So everybody gets to mark an XP for that. Then ask individually and mark XP if yes. Rich, did one or more of your hooks create problems?
I resisted the opors, so I think no. I think I didn't.
Have you figured out what you want to do for that other hook? Is there something out of today's session that would?
Yeah, I saw one out there. I'm terrible with burr and always immediately burn through them, buying things, entertaining myself, or giving to charity. So I kind of like that as a little bit of a bon vivant.
Okay, that would mean why you and Nikos are sympathetic, since you both are terrible with it.
Oh crap! I did not realize that we. Okay.
That's awesome, though.
Oh, okay.
It's awesome.
Like half the crew is just terrible with money. The other half either forgets about it or doesn't care.
I kind of love that.
Okay, cool.
Nikos, did one or more of your hooks create problems?
Oh yes.
Yeah, you were willing to get yourself shot in the head just to piss the Foundation off. So yeah, mark an XP for that. Kyrie, did one or more of your hooks create problems?
You sound more and more exhausted every time you ask me that question.
Mark an XP. And Sherry, what about you?
No, everything went smoothly for me.
Yeah.
I trusted Kyrie, and he did not.
Well, actually, I think that trust created some problems for you. I'm going to give you a point for that.
I don't acknowledge those problems.
That may be the
Kellen
issue.
didn't notice them.
Yeah. So mark an XP for that.
Okay.
All right. We'll check in on advances next time. And let's see. This is do you guys mind doing a quick round of stars and wishes for these the session and last to do quick? Since let's start with wishes. In the sense of things you would like to see more this session or last, or things that you want to definitely lean into in these last couple of sessions. Sherry, let me start with you.
I don't have any wishes. Everything went swimmingly to my mind. I would like to have more scenes with each of the other players.
Okay.
So I really loved answering the questions. I really like everyone here is lovely. So I want to do more of that.
Fair enough. Kyrie.
Wishes, I definitely want to use that Embrace Eternity move on everything that we meet from here on out.
All right.
I'm I'm really interested in digging more into the Jinn and like what its separation into these parts means and what recombining it would mean, what it wants and what it is, all that sort of like mystery I think is very cool.
Okay.
And like you said, I do want to, like, I don't need to get to the point where I'm taken down the order and I've freed all of the hounds, but I do want to have another step or two along that journey.
We will get your favorite hound on screen in these next 2 sessions.
Nice.
Nikos, what about you? Wishes.
Well, I definitely want to finally get this package delivered and
Okay.
advance my personal project.
Absolutely.
And yeah, tie that into Pega card, and it seems like so.
That makes sense. And we'll get the foundation on screen for you for these last ones. Mumaton, wishes?
Yeah, I think getting foundation on screen and the continuing pursuit are a couple of wishes or things I'm looking forward to in future sessions.
All right. Let's do stars then. Sherry, let's go in the same order. Things you dug, play, characters, elements.
I liked all of it. Yeah, I really the last 2 sessions have been spot on for me. That is, I like living in the world, and I like having these scenes with my fellow players, and they're significant and funny and just so much good stuff, good information and good play.
Okay. Patrick, anything you want to point to?
I'll say definitely for this session and a little bit of last, but like running disaster on a space station, explosions and sort of constant action pushing us forward is just a really great place for this sort of like sci-fi action. I thought that came off really well, and I liked the sort of like expanding relationship with Kala and sort of digging into the connection between her and Kyrie. And I also really enjoyed seeing Nikos and Mumitan sort of at their absolute best, which is Mumitan being a combat monster sort of badass, which we haven't seen a good chance of yet, and Nikos somehow getting his way despite a string of 6 minuses,
Yes.
which is just somehow very Nikos in my mind. They were both beautiful and like well paired arcs.
Awesome. Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, stars to Rich. I think Mumaton is a really good addition to the crew. Having this badass fighter, it sort of frees me up to not be as much of a combat guy and try to do more clever stuff in that kind of a situation, which is a lot of fun. And it was really fun seeing Kala being the technical expert, taking the lead in defusing the bombs and saving the station and driving Kyrie forward. And of course, Kyrie, it is always fun to see him panic.
This is true. I will give you that. Yes. Rich, I'm going to give you last word. Take a drink.
Damn it. And I realized it like 3 words in, but it's too late. Too late. I really enjoy how Patrick, in describing things for Kyrie, the phrase for the camera, like there's just something really endearing about that. And it made me smile every single time. And I was like, yep, I am here for orienting things as if we're a show. That always is enjoyable. And tangential a little bit to what had already been said by Patrick about the space station and the frenzied fight. I really loved the use of environments, the fact that you kind of set up that there was all these gauzy curtains and plastics, and then paying it off with the blood sprays and the kind of moving and wafting in between. Like there were particular moments in the movie Hero where I felt like that was brilliantly used, and I had flashes of that. So I had this very vivid imagery in my mind, in the way you were describing it. And also, kudo to you, Lowell, when you're like, here's where Mumaton is, with people all healing each other. And I'm like, in character, and I'm like, I don't think Mumaton would do anything because this is not her deal and she doesn't want to get in the way. And you immediately had a thing for her to do. And it was a really nice emotional conversation. It was a follow-up, and, you know, great way to put to bed the friendship and camaraderie that I had. So I really appreciate it. That was one of those where, as a GM, would have been like, you know, move to an interesting player. It's like, thanks for doing nothing, Rich. Glad you're here. Let me move on. But you had something, and I really appreciate that. That's the thing that, like, I want to be better at. So, and Sherry playing the, like, geek who actually pays off this time was super good. I love that. It's not the people frenetic action and studying and then setting other people up. She got to do her thing and be really super confident. And Patrick is a great partner of, like, I'm going to be harried and worried about this, whereas, you know, Kala could just be like, I'm zoned in, I'm hyper focused, and I'm going to get this done. And every obstacle is just like, excellent, yep, excellent, no problem, excellent, yep, we have the thing, we can find a solution. But all this stuff is going wrong. No problem. I've identified all those things and I'm dealing with it. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to be selfish, but I have the last word. So it's not like I'm holding anybody up.
Right.
Steven, I love Nikos. He's very Han Solo, and I'm always here for that. And I'm really glad I got to see him shine. I do think there's a little bit of, like, Mumaton and Nikos. Like, I think there are moments where Mumaton's like, it's a mighty fine man. So it was good. Good session.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a good time. Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording.